Hello, Facebook friends. So glad you're with us today. I'm coming to you from the home office of Insight USA in beautiful Orlando, Florida. And boy, do we pay for the sunshine, but nothing could be more perfect. Beautiful weather here today, and we're about to overcome the being victimized by such horrendous storms and hurricanes that just went through. And the people are coming back with faith, hope, and literally many people are looking to God now that maybe didn't before. You know, the things in this life are going to pass away. No matter what you accumulate, you cannot take with you. No matter how much money that you can accumulate, it does not bring you joy, peace, happiness, or protection. So many people get confused about money. My little great-grandson this weekend asked me if money wasn't evil, and I said, no, money isn't evil. The people in the Bible had all they needed and more. Some of them had to split up their property and land, and many of the Bible characters lived in palaces, and even the priests were dressed in gold and silver, and when you get to heaven, you're going to walk on streets of gold, the Bible says. No, it's the love of money. People are confusing the two today, and it seems like what you can accumulate is what you base success on, and that's wrong. We're trying with our program, with our Facebook outreach now, to get people on the right track and to really just smoke out people who are seeking God with all of their heart, people who are not happy where they are, and they look in the mirror and they see no way of ever going any further under the circumstances they're now living under, and it's the truth. What we have to do to advance in God is to believe God for more than what we have now. Plus, we have to put our will submitted to His will and put our hand in the hand of the man who still the waters. Our Facebook friends, we are literally attracting so many new friends, and we welcome you. If you're going to our Facebook page, this is live, but it will be posted on our Facebook page to be viewed. And we want you to know today is a briefing and a call of action to current events as they are happening right now from a spiritual perspective. So if you're watching us on YouTube, please like us on Facebook, Faye USA. And also, if you're on Faye USA Facebook, we are on YouTube with this message live, and it is posted on our website, insightUSA.us. Also, we'd like to have comments. We're getting comments on our program from people that are new to me, new to our ministry, new to our message. But we're making major friends out of people for that reason, because we're praying for people who are seeking God, and they want to go past where they are, past the challenges they in and seem to never win. And we have so many people now that are in prayer groups, and we have every Saturday. I have a prayer briefing call at 2 p.m. on Saturdays with intercessors, with Insight from across the United States, and we literally dissect the week of current events based on what God is saying to us through the promises of His Word and praying them through. And miracle after miracle we are experiencing, and even now God has answered prayers. We prayed in 2010. I prayed in 2010, and I had my network, and my prayer network, you can get information on that by going to our website, insightUSA.us, or you can call our offices if you like, 407-265-0700, press 2, and tell Janie you would like to get a complimentary copy of our weekly prayer bulletin that guides our prayer network, praying only for America, every week according to the circumstances of that week, biblically based, plus a Bible study and biblically based prayer points 407-265-0700. Press 2 for a complimentary copy of our Face Facts, and you can see what our network is doing. Today, we are bringing some issues forward that you need to know about. Those that have been staying in touch with us know that we started a Virtuous Woman's campaign to combat the nasty women's movement that has taken root in our country. They have recruited over 5 million women that literally will stand as a nasty woman. And if you've looked up the definition of nasty, you can't imagine how they could be proud of that fact. Well, I experienced the nasty women when I went to the inauguration, my family and I, in January, and I have never been so embarrassed. I've never been so humiliated. I've never seen such harassment, intimidation, bullying, filth, pornography, violence in the name of women. I never got over it. I came home and I began to pray. God, the women of God, the women who believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, that he died and on the third day he rose from the dead, stands at the right hand of the Father, has given us his word as guidelines for life, have been so silent that we would allow our daughters to see these women as role models and their behavior as acceptable behavior in this God-blessed nation. I began to pray, our intercessors began to pray. God's got to show us how to combat this message. They've had it for too long. They've had access to our colleges, the classrooms, and they have been the only voice. And they've actually hijacked the identity of women in this country, saying they are the ones that head up and protect women's rights. Women's rights, according to their liberal, confused, godless mindset. Well, we began, and I've worked on it for months and months, but a couple of weeks ago we launched our movement, the Virtuous Woman's Movement. And you can go to the website. We have a website and a petition that just states, Hillary Clinton, nasty women, you do not speak for us. There's 29 million of us, and you are not going to steal our identity another day. Hillary Clinton, you're not the role model for my daughters and granddaughter. You're not the role model for our kids in college. In fact, her whole life is a fake. She's got a fake marriage. She doesn't live with her husband. Even when she had the greatest loss and the greatest ache of her lifetime, she lost the presidential campaign. She grieved with her dog, walked in the woods. That's not what you do in a marriage. Her marriage is in name only. Do you want this as role models for our children and the only role model they see, because the women of God have just gone into isolation and stayed out of the mix? We're not going to stay out of the mix anymore. Please go to Faye, F-A-Y-E, V as in virtuous, W as in woman, movement.com. That's Faye, VWM.com. Sign my petition. We want to send this petition to Hillary and to other nasty women that are in our... I looked at the senatorial committee yesterday, the Judiciary Committee. Dianne Feinstein, when it came time for her to question our Attorney General, which I have no respect for, I'll just be honest with you, Republican in name only. All of her questions had to do with sexual perversion, sexual promiscuity, gender identification, and she thinks this is what America is about. With the issues that we've got 50 million people in this country, 50 million who can't afford to buy a health insurance policy. And this is what they call the government does it for you, that makes you special. No, that makes you poor. That makes you a Democrat. But not being able to make enough money to buy health insurance, which many people who make money, still it don't stretch far enough because of the overtaxation. We're taxed more than any nation in the world. And the way these people spend it is a crime. It's not just a disgrace anymore, it's a crime. But before we go to the 3 issues that I want to give you, the plan of action, I want to say that last week, our prayers, God is miraculously answering. We had prayed that the takeover of our health care would crash and burn. The Obamacare is nothing but a takeover of our health care, giving billions of dollars to insurance companies that don't give you health care. You pay $6,000 to get in the hospital, you pay this and this, you have the least money for health care you've ever had, although so many people don't have any now because of the laws that were imposed upon us, that we had to comply with their unconstitutional laws to get an insurance policy. And this is how their twisted interpretation of the English language comes. But we just kept believing. I knew it was a takeover of our health care. I knew that when I went to my doctor and he had to sit down at a computer, instead of looking at me, talking to me, working like they used to do, he's looking at a computer and he's typing every word that I say and he says, because it has to be reported so it could be sent to Washington, D.C. And that they could put it in the computer database to make sure that our health care is recorded. And it is recorded for liberals to be able to compare it to know if next year we qualify to get health, to get health care, not insurance, medical care. And they're not telling you this. I am telling you this. So with the Republicans in name only, who had never intended they want to replace Obamacare, but they never intended to abolish Obamacare. They help fund this database that keeps records on our health care. And they know it. That's why they have to go in 2018. You have to know who to vote for and you have to know who not to vote for. And that's why you've got to keep up with current events. And I know it's not the thing you want to do. I know it don't give you a buzz. I know I'm not selling you a miracle in a book. I know I'm not ringing up heaven and saying, Santa Claus, Jesus, rain down, that they just gave me $50. No, that's a myth. You've got to know the facts. The facts are that even though the maze of what the Republicans did to us, the lies they told us, the joke they are, the Senate has done nothing. Do you know what they cost us a year to do nothing? The Democrats don't plan to do nothing, but make sure the Republicans don't do nothing. And we're paying a fortune, $1 to $2 million each, just for staff and expenses, $170 to $270 a year each, and they do squat. Most of them don't work 2 days a week. Every other week, they're gone for a week to 2 weeks. They travel all over the world, and we're just picking up the bill. We're not going to do that anymore. Let me show you. Today, last week, President Trump had some time with Senator Rand Paul, the best thing that ever happened to him, because Senator Paul gave President Trump the facts on Obamacare. He actually read the bill. And he said there is a way that you can legally give the people an opportunity to buy health insurance across state lines. The only insurance they need. The lower priced insurance that covers only what they need. And he gave him the loophole. He gave him the legal way. And as soon as he did, President Trump signed an executive order that has released us to buy health insurance at a normal price across state lines. And the only people we'll be insuring is ourselves. That is a miracle. And we have to thank God, because that is what we needed to take the future of our health care, our destiny, out of the hands of the Obamanites, the Democrats, the rhinos, the liberals, and the insurance companies. We have to thank God. And we have to make sure they don't come in and they try to sabotage that, because they will, but I don't believe they can when we know the difference. The other miracle that we had was, again, President Trump got the facts concerning what the Congress has done. And we have to know this, because this is the this is something that the media, the leftist, the liberal, communist mindset media that despises President Trump won't tell you. They probably don't even know enough about it to tell you the truth. The headline was, GOP wants to eliminate shadowy DOJ slush fund bankrolling leftist groups. And you have to get my face facts or go to insightUSA.us to get a copy of this week's Face Facts, which has all of the details of what I'm summarizing on this message. And it says, Lankford has introduced the Stop Settlement Slush Fund Act. Stop Settlement Slush Fund Act of 2017. Now, what they did is the Obama administration funneled billions of dollars to activist organizations through a Department of Justice slush fund scheme, according to congressional investigations. The investigators have accounted for $3 billion paid to non-victims entities. There's a recent effort by the Republicans to eliminate the practice, which many believe was widely abused during the Obama administration, when big banks, listen to this, big banks are sued by the government to discrimination of mortgage abuse. They can settle the cases by donating to a third party of non-victims, and the settlements do not specify how these third-party groups could use the windfall. So far, investigators have accounted $3 billion to non-victims. The DOJ bureaucrats are talking billions, taking billions away from taxpayers to fund their pet projects, overriding congressional preferences. It is an unbelievable money laundering scheme, and the Republican Congress has approved it. We've had the Congress since 2012, maybe 2010, and it's not what party they're in anymore. It's whether they're liberals or they're conservatives, and most of the senators are conservative in name only. They've allowed these billions, it's billions of dollars for settlements with banks. They do the same thing with the environmentalist lawyers, billions. There's one more thing. The reason that we did this today is I want you to contact, we've got a nasty woman that needs to hear from us. Her name is Frederica Wilson. She is a member of the House of Representatives from the 24th District of Florida. What she did, this woman, she has called for President Trump's, I'm not sure, I won't say that because I'm not sure. She's called for him to be impeached. She called him a mental case, a basket case. She's insulted this president. She has assassinated his character. She has lied. She literally was in the car with the fallen soldier's widow when the president called her to give her condolences. This woman went on national media and lied and tried to make President Trump into someone he is not, has never been. And she is a nasty, vicious woman with power. Her name is Frederica Wilson. Her phone number, I want to give you her phone number, and I've already called her, but you need to call her. Her phone number is 202-225-4506. 202-225-4506. Her fax number, 202-226-0777. That's 0777. You tell her that we will not accept her behavior and that we will not tolerate her slanderous attacks, her false claims. And she has a right to her opinion, and we respect anything she wants to think. I had my opinion about Obama, and it wasn't nice, but I didn't use my job to remove him from office. Let me tell you something. Her abuse of power, speaking as a member of Congress and slandering the President of the United States in the manner that she has, will not be tolerated. Dianne Feinstein and Frederica Wilson are two nasty women that have too much power. We've got to pray them out. We've got to let them know they do not speak for us. And the more people that sign my petition and go to Faye, Faye, VWM.com, sign my petition, forward it to your friends. We're reaching people now in amazing ways. We will have a voice when we recruit enough women that believe in life, in prosperity, in decency, dignity, the Word of God, and Jesus Christ. I took a few minutes longer, but we just had things we had to bring out. So you guys have a great weekend. Stay in touch. Forward these messages. I'll see you next week.